Have you ever been given a piece of writing advice but felt that it went against your creative writing process or just didn't make any sense? Today we're talking about the worst writing advice we often hear and why they're wrong and detrimental to our work. Let's get started. Hey guys, Nour here and welcome back to my channel. When it comes to writing and literature, we all have something to say. We are free thinkers after all, so we want to share our opinion. And part of that is giving advice to other writers, especially those who are starting out. Now, this is usually a good thing. We learn from the tips and experiences of great writers that came before us. That's why we take writing workshops and watch writing advice videos. There is nothing wrong with that. The problem, however, is in not knowing when an advice is bad or just not right for us. Because, let's be real, there is no one formula for being creative and artistic. If there was, writing wouldn't be as fun or unique or worthwhile. So it's really important to know when an advice is a bad one or at least not applicable all the time. The ones I'll discuss today are ones that I hear all the time, and I'm sure you hear them too. So let's jump right in. Number 1, write what makes you money. I completely get the logic behind this one. No one wants to be poor and starve. And no one wants to publish something that no one cares to read. Still, writing something just because it'll make a lot of money is really naive. For one, you should write what you enjoy because otherwise it will show in the quality of the work and then it definitely won't make any money. For two, trends change constantly. If you write a book following a current in-demand trend, it might not be a trend when you finish writing your book and publish it. And for three, there is no guarantee that you'll be rich. Those who earn a lot off their writing have either been working hard for years to build a following, or they just got lucky the first time. And if all you do is pursue writing for the sake of being rich, then you're in for an unpleasant surprise. Number 2, it's okay to take a break from your book. Well, are you sure about that? How long is this break going to be? A writer is not a writer if they're not writing, and that means a long break is not good. I'm talking months and years here, not days or weeks. Because months can lead to laziness and then you stop writing altogether. And I mean, you do want to be a writer, don't you? But that leads me to number 3. It's not okay to take a break from your book. This is just as much a bad piece of writing advice as the other one. Oh man, it sounds like I'm contradicting myself, doesn't it? Well, I'm not, and here's why. You do deserve writing breaks when you're regularly writing. There is absolutely nothing worse for creativity than the inability to take a step back and see things with fresh eyes. Besides, a break helps you recharge and think outside the box because you've stepped back from your story for some time. Now, I'm talking a day or a few weeks here, not a lifetime. Also, keep in mind that some writers don't write daily because they have other priorities on certain days, like school or work or even marketing their books. So those can count as breaks without being harmful breaks. Number 4, you should write what you know. While this is a good writing advice most of the time, it's not always applicable. Writing only what you know is limiting. And what if you were writing a futuristic book with technology that's never been seen before? Are you expected to forego the story just because you don't know the future? And what of writers who are constantly writing outside their knowledge base? Does that make them bad writers? No, because those writers do their research when it comes to topics they want to cover but don't quite understand. And besides, not all writing material is about how knowledgeable you are. Sometimes it's just about our feelings. For example, chances are you probably don't know what it's like to have a terminal illness, but maybe you could put yourself in the shoes of those who do. You can empathize with them and even try to see the world from their perspective. Writing is more than just writing what we know. It's writing from the voices of those we wish to understand better. Number 5, practice is the only way to become a good writer. Obviously, practice is very essential, but it is not the only way. Reading is just as crucial to learning the craft. But sadly, I have had a few writers tell me that they rarely read, if ever. What's worse is when they claim this with pride. Like, look, I'm a great writer and I did it all on my own. I didn't need any other authors to teach me. Well, this is a mistake because every one of those writers has a long way to go before they become worthy of reading. I'm not trying to insult anyone here, but reading and writing come hand in hand. You just can't tell a good story if you've never read one, period. Number 6, you must feel deep emotions to write. I mean, sure, but how deep are we talking? Must we wait for complete misery to overtake us before diving into a scene? No, because that's ridiculous. And I don't know about you, but I can't write, let alone think straight, when I'm sad. So don't force yourself to be sad or wait until you're sad to start your story. Number 7. You're not a real writer unless you write whatever number of words in a writing session. You must write more. This is a terrible advice because sometimes writers sit and think and make progress in their head without even writing. And even if you only write a sentence a day, you'll still have a book in the end. So just work at the pace you're comfortable with and do your thing. As long as you're not slacking, you're okay. So there you have it. Have you ever been told any of these terrible pieces of writing advice? How about others? Let me know in the comments. And before we go, I just want to give a quick shout out to Sarah Frame from my shoutouts here over on Patreon, as well as all my other patrons. Thank you so much for your support. You guys are so awesome. And be sure to follow me on social media to keep up with what I'm doing from day to day. And remember, Nour for president!